Unified AV. We're a large regional audiovisual systems integration company based out of Atlanta. Being the fact that I have been in this industry for almost 30 years and been doing digital signage before it was even called digital signage, I speak from the point of experience, lots of stripes on my back, so I can reflect to you that regretfully most people in the early days that tried digital signage failed, and they failed because they didn't do some really critical, important, necessary things. But the number one thing that is a downfall today and in the past is if you do not identify the reason that you're going to do digital signage. What is the value proposition? In other words, if you are talking to someone about doing a digital signage project and they aren't willing to invest the time to help you all to cleanly identify what they want to get out of their investment and be able to put metrics around it so that they can measure it, it'll fail. The second one would be the area of content. Content is the special sauce. And if you absolutely don't have that truth and that transparent conversation about that, it's not just what you do that first day, or that first week, or that first month. It's that looking at your content as a living organism and making sure that you are constantly keeping it fresh, pertinent, relative to those people that you're talking. And that third element that often causes challenges is they simply don't estimate or have the right expectations for how long it takes. And many times, just right before they're getting ready to experience success, they'll decide that it's been too much trouble, not going to do it. The biggest challenges today for the AV/digital signage integrator is getting the customer to clearly understand that digital signage is not a box. It is a value proposition. And as long as they, or if it's going to go to purchasing, are going to turn it into a box sale, and it's going to go to the lowest bidder, and it's not going to be focused on the value proposition, that is the biggest challenge, the biggest downfall. It's also the biggest trigger for failure. The top 3 mistakes. Wow, that's pretty simple. The very first one is, it sounds like I'm a broken record, but the very first one is that they didn't take the time up front to identify, what do we want out of this? Where are we going with this? It's more than just putting screens on the wall. It's more than putting a projector and making a big picture on the wall. It's deciding that we want to influence people, because see, digital signage is no longer an interrupter. There's so many signs out there. You and I it's bombarded every single day. It's noise to us. We walk by it and we don't even see it. We have got to change digital signage into enhancing the experience rather than making it just something that jumps out at you and makes you, pay attention, because you want people to come back because they want to, not because you disrupted their life. The second one would be probably in the area of choosing the right CMS, the content management software. There are so many out there. Probably I've got a spreadsheet of over 600, and while the parity amongst the performance of these content management software packages have narrowed so much over the years. 10 years ago, there was a lot of vaporware out there, but today, so many great choices. But if a company doesn't clearly identify what they're looking for in a CMS, and that's the responsibility of the integrator. The integrator should have the experience to ask the right questions to help them navigate to the right, because a lot of CMSs, you've got to consider if your network if it's always going to be 6 or 8, 10 screens, to be candid with you, it doesn't matter which one of the CMSs, because all of them handle. But if you're going to go from 6 to 60 to 600 to 6,000, scalability is a big thing. And that last one, which probably should sit at the top of the heap relative to things after the sale that will cause it to fail, and most important, is that content. Content for digital signage is not PowerPoint. content is not TV commercials. Content has to be considered of dwell time, it has to be considered in context with the people that are going to be seeing it. And if you aren't designing with those people in mind, with that time in mind, it's going to be a failure. The typical AV digital signage integration, and I'm first going to tell you what it typically is in the industry, then I'm going to tell you what it should be. The typical one leads to failure, and that is, hey, I can sell flat panels and projectors and outdoor LED screens, and I can find me one of them CMS things, and we'll put together a digital signage thing and we'll sell it to them just like we sold the boardroom, just like we sold the auditorium, just like we put in the sound system, and it'll be all right. And it will fail because that integrator did not show the professional responsibility that should be associated with a digital signage integrator. They have to know, a digital signage integrator has to know what they're doing AV-wise, but it's so much more. So what is the successful pattern? The successful pattern of a digital signage AV integrator is asking the questions that is based on experience. It's researching the customer before you talk to them so that you can ask the questions that help reveal what they're really wanting to accomplish and where they're going to have metrics, helping them set the metrics to pay off. Notice I've never talked about the first screen yet, or the first projector, or the first wire, or anything, because you see that's easy stuff. It's that other stuff that a true AV, so the start to finish is a discussion of what's your value, what's your content, what's your hardware and your CMS and the few other things that you necessarily, and then you walk them through that time of writing a statement of work that sets the proper expectations, and you deliver to that and you go over it and you say, okay, do you agree to this? So we agree to this, because that statement of work is the only way that you have a great ending, because the finish of a great digital signage experience and project happens at the very start. It happens with making sure that you know where you're going to end when you start. I've been coming to DSE since I had black hair, so it's been a long time. And even though it's only 15 years old, I've been coming to almost every single one. And I got to say, I find it such a valuable investment of time for anybody that's serious about doing digital signage, because you see, it's not necessarily about the booths. While they're very important, I love seeing the new sparkly things that are here. That's really cool. And you see new sparkly things, everything. Some of them are here next year, some of them are not. But I love to see the people. It is, I just cherish the friendships and the resources that I get through what I find going down the rows at the show, because whether I know them or not, when I meet them, whether they come to my class or I go to their class, it's that building of resources that you do as a result of DSE. I mean, the show is great. It's a happening. It's really neat to walk around, but it's really the people. It's really the knowledge that you gain from. We're better together is the idea, and so you get to learn together by coming to DSE.